Alright. You know what, I don't know if my mic works. Hello? Hello? Okay, good. Board President to advise members of the audience that they may address the board regarding agenda items after the superintendent report. Only those members whose names and addresses are listed on the sign-in sheet available prior to the start of the meeting will be recognized during new business. The chairperson will limit discussion of any item by the public to 3 minutes in order for the board to expeditiously conduct its business. The superintendent's report, Mr. Dolan?
Thank you, Madam President. Can you guys hear me back? It's okay? My report tonight has taken a bit of a change. In July, we're going to be speaking about our celebrations, and we'll be bringing our valedictorian and salutatorian hopefully to the meeting. We'll be having it over at the high school. But it's come to my attention that there are some folks out there that are frustrated and are looking to come to school without masks. Now, the confusion has been created by the governor's office and his change from following the guidelines of working within the State Department of Health and Suffolk County Department of Health and the CDC. Now, I can't speak for the governor, but this change at this hour, at this late hour, has caused a great deal of concern, consternation. And most people don't realize this, but every year I put my hand up and say that I'm going to support the laws, the mandates, the directives of the state of New York, the state education department. Look, the CDC guidelines state very clearly that if you're vaccinated, you're in public, they're gonna loosen their mask restrictions. It also says very clearly that I don't think this mic is working. Is that good? Check. Let's check your mic. Is yours working, Steve? Check. Is the mic at the podium working?
Say that back.
There you go. This is gonna be some show now.
Address the
Mobile.
I got till about 9:30, so this ought to be
Gotta
good.
go out into the crowd too.
Check one. No?
It's good, sounds
That's
good.
good, yep.
Can you hear? It's not working, is it?
It was working earlier. Don't.
Turn the button on?
No.
Is the button on?
Is the button
It's
on?
on.
I'll hold it up to you. Close.
There is no button.
There you go.
That's it.
Like it.
It's on.
Oh, that's me getting frustrated. Check one.
Yep.
Well, like I said, we still got an hour and 20 minutes.
Working?
Check one.
Yep, you're good.
Can you
Is it
see
working? If I'm closer to that, can they hear me?
Closer to it.
Camera,
Camera, now they
Uh,
sit there. Just.
Steve?
right? So I have to stand here?
No, you can sit stand.
All right. What I started to say was the CDC came out with a mandate.
Back up a little bit more, John. They can't see you. There we go. All right.
Better if they can't see. Can they just see me from the neck up? That'd be better. The CDC has stated that if you're vaccinated, and I stress if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear masks in public places now. But it also says in schools, public transportation, medical facilities like hospitals, you still have to wear a mask. Look, we respect everybody's opinion, but to openly advocate to come to school without a mask right now is not going to help the situation. Now, we are looking at, and we have been very clear, that we're moving forward, we got back into school by giving people choices, giving people options, and giving people a chance to get comfortable. And we're going to continue to do that. But I'm going to say this very clearly. We must continue to wear our masks to school. We understand it's getting warmer. We are going to make a couple of small changes tonight. The first one is we are going to discontinue taking the temperatures. We don't have to continue to take the temperatures, and quite honestly, we trust our parents. Please don't send your child to school with a thermometer. But we're going to move in that direction. Last Friday, we were very clear. The shields at the secondary level are now optional. The students that feel comfortable and the adults, the teachers and the staff who want to use shields are using them. And those who don't, aren't. We were going to do that at the elementary level, but, and I give our elementary staff a lot of credit, they're beginning to look at things like turning the kids to face each other, which is a very healthy thing. But we're working with the Department of Health, and I really feel for the Suffolk County Department of Health, who've been wonderful the whole time with us. They're somewhat, I don't want to use the word confused, but they've had the rug pulled out from under them. But we said last Friday that we are reevaluating the elementaries. We have asked the principals to talk to their people. We're going to meet with the principals, and we are going to make adjustments at the elementary level. We are looking at the possibility of when the children are outside, can masks be optional? We are evaluating the shields. But I trust the folks that work in the buildings with the children, and we want to keep everybody safe. Because I still get the painful phone calls from parents when we do have to quarantine students. It's a hardship. It's a hardship for the child that misses school. It's a hardship for the family. And it's also a hardship for the teachers and the folks in the building who want the kids there learning with them. Now, look, we understand that this is difficult. If your child needs a mask break, I have yet to see an adult that did not figure out a way to get that child to take a mask break. I've been very proud of all we've done. This has been an unbelievable ride. I've been saying this all along. This PCR test, gotta spell it right. Perseverance, courage, and resiliency. We've managed in a town that's full of passion, a town that's full of people that care, a town that's full of people who have very strong opinions. And quite frankly, I appreciate how you offer all that advice to me too. We've managed to stay together. As a superintendent of schools, if a group decides that they're not going to wear masks to school, I am going to have to side with the state authorities. We don't want to lose days. We don't want to have to go fully virtual. But right now is not the time for civil disobedience. It's a time for us to stay united and work together. We truly believe that the governor has said by July 4th, beaches and the pools are going to be 100% open. Working backwards, we're looking at graduation, which is only a week before that. And the way things are changing, we're hoping to have a graduation ceremony where at least the class and the parents can be, or the significant adults in our children's lives can be there. Field day.
We said to you 2 months ago, we were gonna have field day before most schools said that. We also said to you that we'll know by June 1st if we can have guests at field day. I'm feeling very comfortable now that we're seeing more and more people outside, we're seeing more and more people attending games, that we can come up with a plan so we can do this safely. But we're asking you, you know, when they wrote the Constitution, your rights end at the end of your nose. The other person's rights begin when you start to come together. I have seen cases where best friends have not agreed on this. All we ask is to be patient a little bit longer, stay calm, and this is, I do not believe this is a battle that we want to rip the community apart over. And rest assured, again, as superintendent of schools, I took an oath. And, you know, I joke around a lot, but there's nothing I like more right now than being, well, besides being a husband and a father, than being your superintendent of schools. And I'm not going to jeopardize that because I understand you're frustrated. And I understand that this is not easy. It hasn't been easy for any of us. For every person out there that calls me and says, you know, I don't want to wear this mask anymore, I don't want my child wearing this mask anymore, I get a phone call from someone that says, I don't want to get my grandmother sick. I'm going to end this with a story that I told you way back way back in the end of August. I met two ladies out by the track last summer, and the woman said, she really berated me. We want to go to school, no masks, no social distancing, none of that. We should just be free to do what we want. And I came back up to the office and I said to my secretary, Joanne, put 2 in the we want to just go back category. And not an hour later, I got a phone call from the woman who stood next to her, nodding her head like this, who said, Mr. Dolan, she's my best friend and I love her, but I don't agree with her and I don't want to fight with her anymore. And that's when I knew we were going to have our hands full. But we talk a lot about EI pride. We talk a lot about EI pride and what it is. And it starts with East Islip United. It starts with East Islip, whether we agree or disagree, sticking together. The facts are the facts. The CDC says you have to wear a mask in school. The governor has chosen to follow the CDC now and not the local government. We must wear the masks in school. But we are willing to work with our local officials, and like I said, working backwards. We were the first school on Long Island last year to say we were going to have a live graduation, and we did it. And we did it because of the people behind me and the people in front of me on the camera and in the room. We have said from the beginning, we're going to have field day, and it's coming. We are going to have field day, and we are going to have guests at field day. We just have to make sure we have a safe plan so that everybody feels comfortable. And sometimes for everybody to feel comfortable, we all have to accept a little bit of discomfort. You know, this country was founded on compromise. This country was not founded by us, by people telling us what we have to do. It was founded by people listening to each other and compromising. You know, I hope that you folks get on Facebook or whatever you do, because I don't have Facebook, and just ask, we're asking you for a little more patience, and we did say it to you last Friday. We will have a plan. The plan is going to move us closer to normal. All right, and we're going to do our best, because we know it's getting a little hotter, to give the kids the opportunities to get outside and breathe outside together. That's about as simple as it gets. But again, please do not put us in a situation that we would be forced to do something that, quite frankly, none of us want to do. I'll be more than happy to listen to you. I'll be here all day tomorrow. I'll be here all day Thursday. I'll be here all day Friday. For those of you that are really mad at me, write this number down, 631-312-0620. Send me a tweet, or not a tweet, send me a text, whatever they are, and I'll be happy to talk to each and every one of you. But the bottom line is, EI Pride starts with EI United. EI pride starts with the respect that we have for each other. And this group here, to my left, to my right, this Board of Education, oh, trust me, we don't always agree, but they respect each other. In fact, from their disagreements, we have done okay, and we will continue to do okay. But we really, really need your support on this one. Please do not put your children in the middle of your political struggles. If you don't want your kids to wear a mask, bombard the governor's office. You don't want your child to wear a mask, you got to bombard your elected officials. Do not put your children in the middle of this. And if you send your child to school without a mask, knowingly, what you're doing is using your child as a pawn to promote your political agenda. So I'm asking you nicely, if you want me to beg, I will. Again, if you want to talk to me directly, just text me at 631-312-0620. But please, do not put your children in the middle of this, all right? And allow us to continue to work with our health officials and our elected officials. And if you really don't like it, you must go to the people who are making the rules. Don't take it out on the group here, which our job when we raise our hand, the Board of Education and myself raise our hand every year and swear to uphold those rules. Do not put us in that position, because this district is bigger and more important than anything. And again, EI pride starts with EI United. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Public comment on agenda items only. Do we have any comment? So move on to section 913 evaluation. Be it resolved pursuant to education law section 913 that a member of the non-instruction staff whose identity is known to the Board of Education is hereby directed to report for an examination in order to determine the capacity of such person to perform said employee's duties with the East Islip Union Free School District. Said examination will be conducted by Dr. Randall Solomon on Friday, June 25th at 12 noon at Dr. Solomon's office, 55 Wisconsin Highway, Suite 1, Port Jefferson Station, New York, 11776. Made a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Certified employee resignation. Be resolved that the Board of Education of the East Islip Union Free School District accepts the resignation dated May 14, 2021 from a certified employee whose identification is known to the Board of Education. Such resignation effective June 25th, 2021. Get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Be it resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education approves the resignations, terminations, leave of absence, position abolition, employment appointments, tenure appointments, and salary changes in accordance with applicable provision of education law and civil service law as cited in the certified personnel attachments. Get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, at this time, I'd like Krista Legg, Mike Hanson, and Mike Laguello to stand up, please. I don't think we have any other new ones. This is the part of the program that I really like. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael, turn around, face the crowd. No, Mike Laguello. Michael's going to be teaching English at the high school. Michael Light, turn around. Michael's going to be the new assistant principal. And Krista, turn around. Krista's our new director of special ed. A nice round of applause. Welcome to the team. It really is a great place. And I asked you all this in the interviews. I want to be at your retirement party. And all I want to hear from the parents who show up, your colleagues who show up, the community members who show up, is that you just gave it everything you had. The three of you were hired, you went through the committee system. The three of you were hired because those committees felt that you could come here and
and just make and bring a little something to East Islip. There's a tremendous amount of tradition here, we have a tremendous amount of pride here, but each one of you, if you just come here, give it 100% every day, like I said, I'll be very proud to be at your retirement party and just hear people say, boy, they were good people who gave it their best, and they really, really cared about kids. So, welcome to the family, everybody. You can applaud again. Nice, the new ones always like, they always listen.
That's a nice part of the program tonight. Welcome to East Islip School District.
Thank you.
Non-certified personnel. Be resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approves the resignation, termination, leave of absence, position abolition, employment appointments, tenure appointments, and salary changes in accordance with applicable provisions of education law and civil service law as cited in the non-certified personnel attachment. Get a motion?
Motion. Second.
Discussion?
Mrs. President, 11 and 12, not in favor.
Okay. So numbers 1 through 10, all in favor?
Aye.
Numbers 11 and 12, all in favor?
No.
Aye.
Thank you. Our consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that anyone would like to remove at this time? Not, actually, it's not stipulated. It's 9.1 to, we'll do 9:16.
Yeah, I think it's 7. Oh,
No,
I think it's
15.
appropriation.
Yeah. So, include that, that was just one transfer.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so the consent agenda passes through 9.17. 9.18, right?
Yeah, but
Yes.
now what?
Okay?
Yep.
Okay, 9:18,
That will do when we come back.
we're gonna do, okay. And then, old business. So we're gonna actually, at this point, we're gonna cover old business, new business, and then we're gonna adjourn to exec for a couple of matters we weren't able to discuss prior to the meeting,
Right.
and then we'll come back for the budget results and, board trustee, election results. So, for anybody that would like to stay. The old business, anyone?
Well, I didn't know that Mr. Dolan and I are best friends, but you said the best friends often disagree. Well, you did, you said that up there.
There's an exception to every rule.
As everyone knows, since August, I've been on the side of the least restrictive option we could take. But although this is a bitter pill to swallow, it is, like Mr. Dolan said, for right now, for the next few days, while we figure out how we can proceed, I would like to, although hard for me to say, I would like to agree with Mr. Dolan that we need to just give us some time to work this out. It's better to stay united and let the kids go to school, and we are making adjustments, and Mr. Dolan and I have heated discussions every day about these issues. So we are moving in the right direction. It's just taking some time, and we do have I guess, constraints on us as a Board of Education. So we do disagree, but I agree that we have to give it more time. So I'm kind of agreeing with you. So does it make us best friends again?
We're back.
All right.
We're back.
What do you think, Mrs. Zach?
Sounds like a great plan.
Okay.
Can we just recap as far as
Well, I don't know if it's complex or sound.
the superintendent report? So we're gonna stop taking temperatures at the entrances, is that correct, Mr. Dolan? And then as far as recess, is that effective tomorrow, it's optional, or are you gonna make an
No, no.
announcement?
We need a couple more days, because I have a meeting tomorrow, we'll finalize everything by Thursday, make the announcement Friday, and we'll look to move into next week, and then, as we move past Memorial Day again, we anticipate, now, do we know if they can hear us out there? I'm not talking about you guys in the room, but can they hear us at home? All right. You know, it's again, there are certain things I never want to say again, but it's a fluid situation. And I will say this, I think that the board has been very good about supporting and getting our kids back in as quickly as possible. And so, again, we said it last Friday, we really need another 72 hours to see what the governor, first of all, the governor has to make a statement tomorrow, but proactively, we knew he was gonna make a statement, so we have our people out there working on a plan, and then we'll announce that Friday afternoon and be ready to go Monday.
And the shields in the elementary, that's being evaluated as well?
Yeah, it's tricky, and we're trying to get some guidance from the Department of Health, because, look, I would love to just take them down, but if we take, you know, I've been saying this to people, what's better for kids? To be able to have a shield and be in a cluster of 4 facing each other, so you can now see each other again? Or take the shields down, just go into rows? And again, we need a little bit of time to discuss that. You know, and I just want to caution everybody, there are school districts that aren't even talking about this, there are school districts that have not gone back, there are school districts that are still hybrid. You know, I commend everybody, it was a great job moving away from virtual. And quite honestly, we do have, you know, a certain group of people that have legitimate medical concerns, and we were respectful of them, but we were able to work, all of us working together, the teachers, the staff, the administrators, we were able to get everyone back into school except for those who have legitimate medical concerns. So that was, I think that was a huge accomplishment, and we will continue on this road. And again, I've said it before, it's very hard to keep us together. Some people want to run ahead, some people are a little bit walking more cautiously, but I'll be darned, we're gonna stick together. And that's why we just need, you know, it's gonna be Wednesday. By Friday afternoon, we will have something for everybody to, you know, hopefully it'll make everybody a little bit happy and a little bit angry, and then we found a good compromise.
Thank you.
Any other old business? I actually just want to bring up something. We discussed it at the last meeting regarding spring sports tryouts, and it was reviewed. There were some changes that were made relative to the JV and varsity sports teams for spring. And happily, those teams are competing, and there's a lot of happy faces on the fields. We had some great music programs. We had another award program this morning. We have prom coming up. Just to be clear, because a community member disparaged me, saying that it was my decision to put a tent on the hockey rink. That was not my decision. That was a collective decision by the planning members of the school district. The only aspect that I was a part of it was, you know, to be informed this was the plan, and we voted to approve the expenditure. It absolutely was not my decision, so I just wanted to make that clear. We are very happy that our students are going to be able to have a junior prom, a senior prom, and other awards. The video that you put on the website was terrific. Mr. Dolan, my only negative comment after all of that, of course, the personal attack was a bit off-putting, but is the conflict of interest. So we have a conflict of interest policy that I asked if we could review it. I know legal is taking that into consideration. We're going to have a discussion about change of the wording and to make sure that it is universal. So that way it affects administrators, board members, and staff. So if they have any kind of conflict, business or personal, that will be addressed by their supervisors. So I just want to make it clear, because it seems that it's been a blind eye, it's been turned a number of times to personal conflicts in the district, and I think that should change. So, but that's just my opinion, and I think that as a board we'll make a decision on hopefully changing that policy going forward. And if there's no other old business, we'll move on to new business. Sure, absolutely.
You know, Mrs. Carney just spurred something in my mind. From my point of view, the blind eye wasn't turned, it was the superintendent didn't see something that was right in front of his face. So, you know, I think we're gonna take a good hard look at that. But on a positive note, and I know Mr. Neske, I can't see you, but we've had a couple of really nice concerts. We had it down at JFK and RCK, and this is where, before I had to talk about masks, which, by the way, in case I wasn't clear, we still have to wear masks in school. I've had the opportunity, we went to concerts at JFK and RCK, and they were absolutely beautiful outside. The Breakfast of Champions was our first event under the tent. And remember, we rented a tent because we did not want to have to split our class at the prom. There are districts that are, you know, going and having 2 and 3 proms so that their kids can have an experience, but they won't be with their whole class. Breakfast of Champions was, it was wonderful this morning. Sun's coming up, it was beautiful. But last night, for those of you that weren't there, and we had a concert, the first concert was last week, and again last night, but the interesting thing last night was, there was a girls lacrosse game on what used to be called the football field, and we only played on that 5 times a year. And we had a girls lacrosse game going on while the concert was going on, and the beauty was standing there and seeing the girls running up and down the field with the music playing. It almost looked like a beautiful ballet. And that's what we know East Islip is. We try to offer opportunities for all our kids. I loved it the other day when 2 girls came in their softball uniforms, their faces still painted and they were dirty. They jumped in, grabbed their flutes, and they started to play. That's what school's all about, creating opportunities for kids. We do not want to put the kids in the middle of our political fights. I'm going to reiterate it. We have to wear masks in school because that's what the rules are. But I can't wait. I would love to say, and I'm not going to give Mr. Neske a heart attack here because there's so many logistical worries about doing it. But watching the music teachers put on the concerts at JFK, RCK, and then out there on the field at the high school was absolutely awe-inspiring. It was a beautiful night, and again, it was like poetry in motion. And watching kids side by side doing what they love, and the one part of what I loved, we had about a half a dozen graduates who came to hit softballs. They realized they couldn't do it, but I watched them. They hung around a little while and enjoyed the music. To see the little kids on bikes in the playground down at JFK, and to see kids on bikes at RCK, a couple of them told me they had never been to a concert before, and they liked it. There's an awful lot of good here, so please, please, please remember that. And that's where we're going, that's how we're coming back, that's what's gonna make us great. Again, that's what EI Pride's all about. And please, again, just remember, hang in there, we need to wear the masks a little bit longer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dolan. Any new business?
I have some new business.
Okay. Mr. Montori?
Yes, and I know people are not gonna, you know. The state education department is considering a course, critical race theory. Is that going to be a mandatory course for every school district?
I am not aware of a mandatory course.
Well, it's not mandatory now, they're talking about it and they are proceeding ahead with this. I just want to know, has any school district been informed of a potential critical race theory course?
Not that I'm aware of, Mr. Montori.
So the state has not come out with anything yet?
Correct.
Okay, good. Also on the play area at the elementary schools, you are thinking about having the kids go out without a mask, is that correct? Yes or no? I don't wanna,
I was gonna give you a yes or no, now you're gonna get more.
no, just,
Listen, you did it to yourself. No, that's what we're looking
all
at.
right, that's it, that's all I have.
Yes. I got more if you want.
No, that's fine.
Any other new business?
What?
I've been here 7 years, you've never had new business, there's always old business.
I don't have the old business.
That's very disappointing.
Any other new business? No? Okay, so if I can get a motion to adjourn to
Motion.
executive session?
Second.
Oh, God.
All right,
Nay.
thank you. We'll resume when we get the budget results. Thank you.